いつからなの？
1年ぐらい前かな。
ふざけんな。どっちかにしろ。
嫌だ。でも彼女とも別れられない。
浮気ってさ。
Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go ahead and actually do something a little different. A series that you may not have actually heard of or seen run across, but something that might intrigue you. Today it's A2Z. It's a Japanese import on Prime Video, premiered in February of 2023. Has 10 episodes, roughly about 35 minutes apiece. Now this is a romance drama. This is very much like a soap opera in America or a telenovela in Mexico. There's very little humor here, as it is a serious romance drama. Also, people that are familiar with Japanese culture will also be a target audience for this particular show. So it's not a rom-com, this is actually an actual serious drama. So that's where we're looking at as far as who's the target audience for this. I'm normally a casual for any kind of romance story anyways, but with this also being the first Japanese live action scripted show that I'm reviewing, I'm totally a casual viewer here, and I'm going to try and do justice for the mains on it, as well as giving my mindset for a casual viewer. So if that sounds alright to you, click like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. But without further ado, let's get into it. Now, all honesty, I naively thought that South Korean and Japanese shows were very similar. It's just our, you call it ignorance if you will, but you know, you just kind of have that feeling from North America not really having ventured out and really understanding all the cultures. You just kind of feel like, they're probably in the same genre or the same style. Okay, but this show totally shattered those myths for me. In Korea, most romance shows are shot with comedic flair or undertones, probably stylized to attract casual viewers a bit more, and it draws in casuals that way. That's why they go and actually do it, I believe. It appears that, at least in this Japanese show, they shoot it with more deliberate mannerisms. They take romance seriously, and they put it into a serious light. And so there's definitely a glaring difference between the two. The story is basically that of a married couple that have been growing apart. The husband openly admits that he has a young mistress on the side. The wife is sad but not angry, and she eventually decides to go and actually get a young guy on the side for herself. And so it kind of begins the back and forth of what it means to be in love, what it means to be married, what it means to be soulmates. And the A to Z factor is a double motif for this series, as the married couple are both editors at book publishing companies. So they are literary people and they kind of dive into that particular world. So A to Z, books, all that kind of good stuff. And as the viewer progresses through the series, we get the ABCs of this relationship. For example, A is for accidental, meaning the husband accidentally falling in love with the mistress. And B and C and so on. So the story isn't anything groundbreaking, but there's a bit of poetic beauty in the script and the writing. Some good advice in love and life that are delivered very well, and I like that in this one. The acting in this is okay. I wouldn't say great, I wouldn't say awful. Everyone is doing what they need to do to pull off different scenes. No one really stands out as awesome or bad. It's kind of like really middle of the road. There are some scenes where I think pulls off a little bit better, other scenes where I think it's a little forced and it's a little corny or what have you. So it's kind of middle of the road. Coincidentally, the way that this series is shot will remind a North American of a network soap opera or like the Hallmark Channel. The transitions, the sets, the overall feel is too over the top in the romantic aspect of it. So you just really kind of, you put yourself in the mindset of this is kind of a soap opera style, and that's the way it's done. There are also a lot of flashbacks, which can be annoying. If you're telling the story well and it's being acted out well, you don't need to flash back to previous scenes all the time, but this does that a lot. This pulls you out of a lot of different scenes, and constantly having this flashback kind of means that either you think the viewer's too dumb or they're not noticing things or what have you, and it just takes you out of it. So it's a little jarring in that aspect of it. I do feel that a lot of Southeastern Asian cultures are similar in refraining from showing too much intimacy in shows. This show really magnifies that. The intimacies, whether it be kissing, holding, or more, can be very watered down. It's about the level of what North Americans were used to seeing on TV in the 1950s. Sometimes it can be cute and quaint. Sometimes it's belittling and unrealistic to our senses as North Americans, as we probably have become maybe too sexualized in what we actually see. We're probably a little less than Europeans, but whatever. Just telling you that that is the mindset that North Americans might go into for casual viewers of, what are you expecting, what are you not. Overall, what's my verdict? For mains, I'm going to go and actually say watch 2 episodes. Now, the acting isn't great, and the way things are shot can be a little bit low budget, but the script writing and the look into Japanese culture are interesting. How the series portrays romance and marriage in this country is intriguing, and it's enough for a 2-episode watch, at least for main target audiences. For casuals, I'm going to say watch 1 episode. I say this because the writing is actually good on here. Now, I don't know how many casuals are into romance dramas that can get past 1 episode, but this is worth 35 minutes of your time to experience of Japanese culture. It's nice to see in this nice little series. So, again, for my mains, watch 2 episodes. For casual viewers, give it 1 watch. That's what I actually have for A2Z on Prime Video. If you stayed this entire time, I appreciate you. Do me a favor. Go ahead and click like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff, because I try and find new and different types of series all the time for you guys. Meanwhile, you can watch some of these other videos around here. But until that time, take care of yourselves. I'll holler at you.